Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, it's happened. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that works.
Wow.
Okay. Hey, sorry about that. We had all this technical stuff going on. I couldn't hook up my Bluetooth was not going to the show, man.
Oh, absolutely. It happens. And it's been a transition for us too, as we've kind of started doing it this way. We've had every single possible technology difficulty you could imagine. So I've kind of been
Uh,
trial and error myself. So it's
right on.
good to see you, man. How's everything been
Thank you.
going?
Everything's going good. I'm actually up north right now. I first drove to Sacramento to my keyboard player's house, lay some stuff on tape, and now I'm up at a really good friend of mine's, great bass player. We're kind of messing around, putting stuff on his gear, and he's a really good bass player. So I'm just messing around, just been writing songs and doing that kind of thing.
Well, I know you had talked about back in February about right. Well, I guess we're gonna get some good info here. So back in February, you talked about kind of how writing for the new album and kind of diving right in.
Yeah.
Obviously, February might as well have been 16 years ago. With the
Right.
way things have gone, what's going on? I know you talked about how excited you were to write and do this new album with Mitch.
Yeah.
It'd be your first one with him. What's the
Yeah.
status, man?
Uh, the tunes are going really good. We got 5 songs on tape yesterday, just the music, and so Mitch is going to have a lot of homework. And today I have another idea that I'm putting on tape. So we're just kind of writing. We've been kind of doing what we're doing with the Zoom, and uh, and also sharing back and forth with the MP3s and kind of getting things sorted out. Then we got the arrangement. I drove up to Sacramento, which is about 7-hour drive, and yesterday morning spent about 6 hours at Michael's. Got a lot done, and just came up here more or less for a vacation. But my friend Jim, he lives up here in God's country in Santa Rosa, and he's like, uh, he plays bass like Satan. So every time I come up here, we got to do something,
That is
something
awesome.
musical.
Well,
Yeah,
how important is this to you I mean, it's been almost 2 years to the day that
yeah,
Mitch was announced as the new singer in Great White. It's been tremendous. I saw you
yeah.
guys here in Kansas City last May,
Uh-huh.
and it was tremendous here at Ameristar Casino. I love Mitch. I love his style. I love the way he brings those Great White songs to life. How important
Yeah,
is it to you to get this album done with him and kind of solidify him as it's been 3 years since the
yeah,
last Great White album? This is a lot of people are really
yeah,
excited about this.
yeah. I think it's really important, and I really want to do it for him and us. I just think I really want to hear him on new material. It's very exciting, keeps me motivated, keeps me you know driving for something, and I'm really anxious to hear his voice with the new songs.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, tell us kind of how things are right now. I know you guys, at least on your website, still have some shows on the books coming up
Yeah.
here. Take us through what's going on right now as far as I know Autograph did a show just last weekend in Colorado, and
Hmm.
so I know you guys. I think you have a show with them
Yeah.
planned. What's going on
Yeah.
with the shows?
Um, well, for the most part, I only know of 2 that were outright canceled. And that was the whole reason was because there was already bands scheduled in those spots where they could have moved it. The latter part of the year was already filled up with other bands. So if somebody cancels, then we would get those shows. But for the most part, we moved everything, later in the year. All the shows we had in February, March, April, whatever, they just moved them to like September, August, September, November, that type of thing. And then a few even next year. So we're just being patient, and we want everybody to feel safe coming to the shows and whatever. If they want to wear masks, however it has to work. But we do have a show. Our first one back is July 9th in North Dakota, which is where Mitch, I guess, is from. And so that's pretty exciting, I guess, probably for him. and for
I
us, you know.
that it is, and it's just unfortunate because one of the shows that got moved to next year was the one here in Missouri.
Oh man,
Yeah,
sorry.
Mid American Music Festival. You guys and Slaughter and Autograph were, and I was like, they had me tapped to MC the thing, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get Mark on. We're gonna talk about this. It's gonna be great. We're gonna hang out, and then this all happened. So, but at least getting to go back here
I
out
was
in
in St.
July.
Louis not long ago, but it was I work with I play pool. It's kind of a hobby of mine, and I work with a pro coach in St. Louis. So I was out there for about a week just training with
That's
him
right.
and
For some
stuff.
reason, I thought that friend of yours was here in KC. I thought I'd remembered that, but I guess he's in St. Louis, huh? He was like a
Yeah,
dark.
yeah.
I remember
Well,
that.
he used to work at what is it called? Lindenwood College,
Oh, I know that.
which is
Yeah,
just outside of. Yeah, he had a tables, and he coached people, and they had teams and stuff, team events, and he's a pro pool player himself, so he was a coach, and Lindenwood had teams that would travel around and play people and whatnot.
well, it's, we're all trying to adjust here. It's been crazy. For me, I go to, 25, 30 concerts every summer and travel, and
Right.
it's been tough. So like what is personally kind of for you, have you felt that it's been and good in a sense to be able to delve kind of into to the music here that you guys are needing to work on, or has it been just
Yeah.
tough?
It's actually been, kind of good. Of course, I wish it was, under different circumstances, but it gives us time to, not have things in between the writing. Like you get in this songwriting mode, and your engines are going, and then all of a sudden you got to stop and go do something, go play a show or whatnot. So it's been good in that sense that we could keep the momentum going. The songs are going so good. It's like we want to keep it going. And but we're also excited about playing shows, and we will have to record in between and stuff like that. But it's just exciting, to watch little ideas grow into something. I don't know, something about it. I love it.
Well, that's what you guys have been doing for so long now, and can't
Yeah.
wait to hear new material. Talk to us though, about the band and the legacy here, because Mitch joined 2 years ago. What would, had that not worked out? What where would you guys be right now? Because I feel like Mitch is the perfect fit. Not that I mean that
Yeah.
you guys would have disbanded, but by that I mean Mitch seems to be the perfect fit. In fact, when we saw you guys last May, all my girlfriend could talk about how it is he has way better hair than her, and I'll never live that down. So
I know. It's funny. Yeah, he is a perfect fit. I really don't know what would have happened because it was a case. Well, I've told the story before, but it wasn't by design, him being in the band. It kind of happened just generically and, random. So I don't really know. It was just a case. I saw a picture of him on stage with me that my keyboard player sent me, and I saw that, and then it kind of got me wondering a little bit, but I didn't really pursue it. But then when I saw him, this Van Halen story thing, it kind of rekindled my curiosity. Then I heard him sing Panama or something, and then I go, I'm going to find out who this guy is, because I really didn't know. And I've said this before, but it's not because he's not great. I just somehow he flew under the radar for me. And so when I found out about his solo career, I listened to a few songs, and I'm going, holy crap, man, this guy has a range, and his voice sounded so pure, and like he had a lot of attitude, like I believed him. And so we got the idea just to send him some music, see if he was into it. And so that's how that happened. But as far as what would have happened had he not come in, it's hard to even throw that in there. I don't
right,
know.
it
I
is.
really don't.
Well, thankful for that. I mean, and for you and Michael and Audie, 35 years. It's so ups and downs, twists and turns. But this 35 years of collaboration, just kind of what is that mean to you personally, and what those friendships that you guys have and the music that you guys have created that is, part of the American lexicon, now
Yeah.
forever.
Well, obviously, I mean, we're all grateful for one thing, and especially for the fans. You know, eh, 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 the way we can relate is we're fans ourselves. We have heroes. We have our favorite bands, our favorite, guitar players, singers, whatever. So we relate to our fans totally, because when I hear something like "Waiting for the Bus" by ZZ Top, I can tell you right where I was, how old I
Mhm.
was, what I was doing. And for our stuff, for us to be together this long and have, be able to meet our fans and hear their stories about what they were doing when Rock Me came out, or whatever. It's just so neat to be a part of that.
Well, the legacy is prodigious, and we can't wait to see what's going forward. Mark, I got to bring this up because I'm gonna kind of heap something on you here, because I have to be honest. I follow you on Twitter. I'm just we've had you on the show so many times, and I'm just a huge fan of what you do. But I have to be honest. I feel now more than ever thankful for someone like you, because you have at least in recent years provided a voice that I feel like people like me aren't supposed to have on social media and as with regards to politics. How, this has been something that it's not cool to be a rocker and to kind of have the political spectrum that you have. Has that been difficult? What's it like for you kind of treading in these waters, especially in these times when it's so crazy, where people like me, I feel like I got to stay out of it. I can't say anything. I'm a silent majority guy. Like I just got to, but
Wow.
someone like you provides a voice for someone like me. So just know that it does mean
Yeah.
something.
Um, well, a lot of the reason has to do with, I just think, like, my parents were full blown liberals.
Hmm.
I've never been into politics at all. I've just always kind of considered myself hopefully sensible. And when things are so out of whack that it makes no sense at all, like even to the most illogical person, I feel like I have to say something, because I really want my grandson to grow into like a regular type world, and not one that's like dangerous or whatever. So I try not to get too outrageous, but I do get a little bit upset. I'd rather promote helping alcoholics, to tell you the truth. But so lately I've been laying back a little bit on it, because I don't really feel like, I'm going to change the world or whatever. But I just think it's getting a little too dangerous out there, getting a little too out of control. It's got to be a better way to do it. I wish everybody could come together. I know there's two sides or whatever, and I totally get that. It's always been that way. But I don't think leveling our country is like the answer. I don't want people to be mad at me. I hate to see innocent people, um, you know, losing their businesses and losing their livelihood, and they really have nothing to do with anything except they just, trying to make a living. I don't really think that's fair, and I don't think that's out of whack to feel that way. You know, we all saw what happened to the George Floyd guy, and we're all sickened by that. Um, but I just don't feel that we have to just destroy our country and turn it into Afghanistan over it. I think we should, I like the idea of maybe doing police reform, doing things that, maybe body cams, because I have a buddy who's a detective in Reno. And what he told me is, he goes, if some guy that's not quite there mentally, but he skates through the academy. He goes, usually he'll fail the mental test. Like they might ask him something like, what if you found out your partner was gay? And he'd say something like, what, before or after I kicked his ass? That guy would not be a police officer.
Right.
Out of there in a second. So, but occasionally a bad apple slips through. They'll usually get them early, but somehow, this guy that did what he did obviously needed to be dealt with earlier. But I just don't think every cop is bad or whatever. And again, I'm just trying to be logical. I you know, I try to treat everybody well, so I'm not out there trying to injure anyone by speaking my piece. I'm just trying to, I want things to go well for everybody, but I, I'm a little concerned by,
Yeah,
what's going on out there right now.
I know it. And I just know that that doesn't fall on deaf ears, that there's people that really appreciate that voice, especially in the musical community, because I follow a lot of people and there's a lot of different opinions, and it's good to at least have some bit of sensibility out there, and I appreciate you for that. And you mentioned sobriety. I saw a picture of you and Joe Wallace just the other day, and I think it had been 27 years for him. How long has it been for you, and kind of what has your sobriety meant to you?
Well, it's almost, it'll be November 2nd. It'll be 12 years for me.
Wow.
I've been working with alcoholics for about 8 years now. Um, Actually, the only reason I even have a count of that is because I send them all daily meditation and prayers. So I know that there's 123. At some point, I've worked with on one-on-one. Seen a lot of success. They say in 12-step programs that the percentage of people with long-term sobriety that that do well for a long period of time is very low percentage. But I have seen just a ton of success,
Wow.
and I really don't know the reason for that. It doesn't have a ton to do with me. I'm not like the miracle guy. All I do is share my story, share encouragement, be a sober friend to these people, show support. And that's really, apart from that, I'm encouraging to them. And I don't preach. In other words, I just tell them how I did it and the steps I made to find a sober path. And then they can kind of choose. And if they have a question, I have no problem, answering what I feel. But I don't sit there and go, you got to do it this way and this way and this way. I just share how I did it, and I've had success. So you might want to try that. At least what you're doing now ain't working, So maybe if you give it a shot, because some people are out there really suffering, and they don't. I don't know what it is, but they just don't take that first step, and sometimes all they need is maybe an encouraging word, and they think, God, that sounds good. I like what that guy has. I would love to have that. And then when you can work with them and kind of just speak with them, they kind of feel that that fellowship, because I know it was important for me to be around people that I felt had the same issues I did. It kind of made me feel not like I was alone. So I would think other people would feel like I did. So, and for the most part, they have.
That is just tremendous to hear, Mark, and congratulations on 12 years and the work that you're doing with other people. That is just beyond wonderful, and love to hear that. I'll tell you what, before we cut you loose, man, we got to do our final four drum roll, which is going to be 4 quick questions. We'll do it rapid fire style, and we'll send you out of here, my man. Always fun. Question 1, what show or shows have you been able to catch up on during the pandemic, and why has it been Ozark? That's everyone's answer.
What shows have I not been able to catch up on?
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. We cut out. I said, what shows have you been able to catch up on during the pandemic?
Shows, you mean guitar and
TV shows, sorry.
Oh, okay. You know what I've really caught up on is documentaries. I've seen like a ton, which I've never seen before. Like I watched one on Paul Newman, on Jackie Gleason, a lot of my TV heroes growing up. I introduced my wife to My Favorite Martian, which was an old series. And so I've caught up to a lot of old series like Columbo and, obviously we got a lot of time on our hands, right? So yeah, that's been some of the stuff that, you know,
Oh,
from the past. My wife's quite a bit younger than me, like about 15 years, so she doesn't know about a lot of the stuff from my childhood, some of the TV series stuff. So
that's
she
awesome.
trips out, you know,
I,
like Get Smart or whatever, you know.
I'll tell you, for me, it's been the Twilight Zone. I've been in a Twilight
Oh
Zone.
yeah,
I mean,
I record
nonstop.
that everywhere, all over my house.
See?
Every DVR is recording Twilight Zones
Well,
everywhere.
it would take all of them to get all the episodes. There's like 50 episodes in every season and like 10 seasons. There's like 500 episodes of it. So it's
You know,
great.
how in advance was that guy? I mean, you know,
Oh,
just for example, there was one episode where computers took over everybody and they had to leave the company, and it was just one guy because computers, you know, everybody was out of work, and now that's kind of happened. You know,
yeah.
like the LA Times is an empty building practically, and everybody, because machines do everything, you know.
Yeah,
So
the world's a little too 1984 Big Brother to, like for me these days, Mark. Moving on. Question
yeah.
2: what is your favorite Great White guitar riff to play live?
Um, you know, I hate to pull out a hit, but you know, it's kind of a two-parter. I love to play Rock Me because it creates a lot of enjoyment and people have a lot of memories behind the song. But my favorite thing to do is some of the jams we do because I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm.
And that's the only reason, is because it's more of a, you know, improvisation, and, you know, and that I enjoy that because it creates excitement for me.
I love that. What was your first concert that you ever attended?
My first concert, I believe, was Edgar Winter, JoJo
Oh,
Gunn, and that opened. And the opening act was either Spooky Tooth or Brownsville Station. I can't remember.
that's
One of
awesome.
those two.
I love
Yeah,
Edgar Winter. I just watched Days of Confused.
three band concert.
That is tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay, so along those lines, last question: first album that you remember buying with your own money
Oh, money.
or stole?
That would have. Oh, you know what? It was Johnny Winter, Still Alive and Well. It was actually on an 8-track tape. I bought it from Wallach's Music City. Because my parents used to buy me records. My first 3 albums my dad got me, and I was 9 years old,
Hmm,
was Cream, Disraeli Gears, The Doors, Strange Days, and Jimi Hendrix Experience. Those are the very first 3 records I ever owned. But
that's great.
you know, I had a pretty good record collection. It was pretty eventful to buy a record. I remember just buying one record would be an entire day. You know, my buddy, in fact, where I'm at right now, we bought Physical Graffiti years ago. That was like a 7-hour day just listening to it, buying
Oh,
it, setting the speakers up in the window, you know,
wow.
getting our stuff all together and listening to this double album. It was like, I remember just thinking, oh my God, this is so good, this album.
When you talk about musical experiences, I think that's one thing that we miss out a lot of times these days, Mark. But I tell you what, thank you so much for doing this with us. I wish I was going to see you here in a couple of weeks here in Trenton, Missouri, but we're going to say
Uh,
July 2021. We'll have you here and we'll be able to come and say hello the right way and
Thank you.
hopefully hang out beforehand and stuff, man. So thank you so much for doing it and best of luck. Stay safe and stay healthy. Can't wait to see you again,
Okay,
my
you
friend.
too, man. You
Thanks,
too.
Mark.
Thanks, Clint.
You
Bye-bye.
bet.